Hi, I'm here outside of Raytheon to report on some groundbreaking news around the globe. Raytheon, the third largest contractor, has announced its merger between Unitied Technologies. And people are wondering, how is this going to affect the stock market? Well, we're just wondering, how is this going to affect government contracting? UTC and Raytheon have assured us that the merger is only going to add value and cut costs to the US government. We're here today to investigate those claims and let you know what lessons you can take away moving forward from this big announcement. Let's dive into the Federal Insider Live. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anna Rose, training coordinator here at US Federal Contractor Registration, and I'm always trying to uncover the latest stories in government contracting and sometimes outside of government contracting that can help you to learn the best way to bank off government contracts. You know, things are changing all the time in the world of government contracting, but if it's true what they say, out with the old and in with the news. So how can $120 billion aerospace merger affect government contracting, and what can be learned from it? Well, first of all, Raytheon and UTC claim that they are not in competition with each other. So if the level of competition is going down, there shouldn't be any reason for a spike in pricing towards the DoD, as the larger company, known as Raytheon, continues to bid on government contracts. Is that really true, though? We took a look at the Advanced Procurement Portal to see if we can uncover anything about that. Now, I love our Advanced Procurement Portal because you can do such amazing things for market research on companies and figure out what they're selling, who they're selling to, and even their pricing. In fact, later on in this video, we're going to give someone a chance to find some federal business opportunities in APP, so please write your industries in the chat right now, and you'll have a chance to see what the government is buying from businesses like yours with the APP VIP. So here's Raytheon and UTC side by side. We're going to show you that in a second. All right, so UTC is an easy one to look at in APP because it's really not as big and mega of a company as Raytheon is. And we found that they've been awarded almost $74 billion in contracts from the US government. It's kind of difficult, though, to get an exact figure on Raytheon because that company is divided up by so many different manufacturing outposts in different states all over the country. But a USA spending inquiry shows us that over the last 20 years, the company Raytheon has been obligated at least $213 billion in contract awards. So combining the number between the two companies, and you're looking at $287 billion in contracts awarded from the government. That's a lot of moolah. Now, they're offering the same thing to the government is really the question. Are they offering the same thing? Is there going to be any difference between the two companies' offerings? I mean, we went into the data lab on USA spending, which allowed us to really take a deeper look into those 2017 numbers. And what we found was that those two companies overlapped when selling to the government in 6 different agencies, mostly within the Department of Defense, with the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, the DLA, and also with NASA and the Coast Guard, which falls under the Department of Homeland Security. And they sold similar things to those agencies about 22 times. So there's a little bit of overlap in what they're offering, but after doing the math, we determined that for neither company was there any overlap in sales to the government of a majority of what they offered, meaning that most of the time they were not competing for the same contract. So for government contracting in general, we shouldn't see a loss of competition for these services, meaning that prices should not spike at all for any of these different agencies. And the CEOs of both companies look forward to expanding their research and development. especially for growing in their aerospace field and also to combine emerging technologies that are going to help both companies meet the expanding needs of the American people. I mean, for example, improved air traffic control, which means not as many flight delays. Yay! But it also means, like smaller aircraft such as drones and flying cars might start taking off and the airways will be safe. So it's a win-win for everyone. I mean, I don't like long lines at the airport and neither do you. So we'll see what happens. Now, the major takeaway for this as a growing business and as your business really begins to scale is that growing pains can come along with contracting, especially when you're playing at such high levels with the U.S. government. You need to nip it in the bud as soon as possible. At USFCR, we're working with some major corporations right now to make sure that not only their vendors and subcontractors that are working underneath their brand are compliant in SAM. As companies grow to the point where the government is relying heavily on them for their service, there can be no margin for error. Since the companies become too big to fail, the government is going to audit these companies to make sure that all of their subsidiaries, branches, subcontractors, and material suppliers are also compliant in the system for awards management. Now, at USFCR, we can audit the SAM registration for quality assurance of all of the major corporations' umbrella vendors before the government fails them. And if your company is interested in hearing more about that vendor management program for auditing, please reach out to our acquisition specialist and you can learn more. Now, for today's Procurement Pulse, I want to speak to businesses who might be interested in benefiting from some of the increased functionality at Raytheon Technologies. I mean, have you ever heard of Raytheon's umbrella program? If you haven't, recently I sat down with former director of pricing and estimating at Raytheon, Ellen Beebe, and she explained to me the easy way to get connected with big primes such as Raytheon. Check it out. All right, so we're going to show you the Become a Supplier page for Raytheon. So if any of you guys are interested in doing defense contracts, getting with Raytheon, we're going to show you how to get on their supplier page. And then again, it's just a quick and simple, you're going to fill out a form. A lot of the information is going to be based off of your SAM registration or your capabilities statement, as well as they're going to want to know your set-asides and products and services.
There's a little bit more to this one as well. And Ellen, can you describe what you were showing us earlier?
So if you slide down to I think we were down at the very bottom of the page, and I think, all prime contractors, they have similar things. So this is just the one I'm familiar with. There's a place there for suppliers. And I think if you click that supplier link, when you go onto that page, there's a plethora of information, not only what do you need to do to work with Raytheon, but also there's a lot of tools and information there about how to prepare proposals. So, I think, and you can find this on Lockheed's page, Boeing, all of the big defense contractors have this information.
Yeah.
So I don't know how familiar you all are with this, but the federal government issues these government-wide agency contracts. They're commonly called IDIQs, although that's a little bit of a misnomer because there's regular IDIQ contracts that are single source. But what they do here is they award big umbrella contracts, and you compete to be on the umbrella. They have small business set-asides, things like that, and generally they'll state in the RFP how many awards will go to small business, how many will go to hub zone, et cetera, and how many are set aside for large business. And then after that, after you get on the umbrella, that you compete on task order basis. So they'll issue task orders under that umbrella contract, so that umbrella sets all the terms and conditions, how the contract's going to work, and it's generally over a long period of time. Lots of dollars are on these as far as the umbrellas are concerned. Doesn't mean that one contractor will get those dollars. It'll be divvied up over the period of performance. But it's certainly, if you look at Raytheon's page, Lockheed has the same kind of page. I know because I've looked at it. But you can go Google those umbrella contracts because as they expire, they reissue them. And then it gives you a new chance to compete again. So it's information, something you should learn more about, because, of course, it is a big area that's set aside for small business.
Yep. Raytheon is always looking for small businesses to compete because their process becomes easier if they can competitively source from distributors and manufacturers. You could be a subcontractor for one of the biggest defense contractors in the planet. The bottom line is that this merger should not reduce competition, but increase the capabilities of the biggest contractors in the world, in the planet. And increased capabilities for them is good news for you. So we're all on board with this change at USFCR, and we want to emphasize that as deals like this occur and companies begin to grow faster and faster, finding the registration side of their business becomes increasingly difficult to manage. And that, we're here to help you stay in compliance. So if you want any more information about how we can help your business, reach out to us by using the number on the screen or email us at federalinsider@usfcrgov.com to learn more. All right. Now, success in contracting is happening all the time, and we like to take time to celebrate some of the wins of some vendors just like you who are getting a one step closer to their big federal break. Yay! So here we go in the next segment that we call Guess Who Won? Woo! So, disclaimer, this week's vendor did not win a federal contract. However, they did make strides towards that direction. MECO LLC is a Phoenix, Arizona small business specializing in industrial building contracting. Being in business for almost 10 years, they have built a great reputation in their community for delivering great customer service and attention to detail. MECO's government sales specialist and bid training attendee, my boy Caleb, recently let me know of a huge win for the company. After applying for numerous federal and local contracts, Caleb received word that the company has won a local contract for the town of Gilbert, Arizona. Yay! Caleb and MECO met with the town and they were both really quick to showcase their capabilities, and now the town is offering them an additional 5 contracts that could be under an estimated $500,000 total. So way to go, MECO! Even though it's not a federal contract, local government contracts will provide MECO some past performance that they can apply to future government bids. And while this contract is definitely one to celebrate, Caleb assured me that MECO is not giving up on federal contracts and is preparing another bid as we speak. MECO LLC is currently serviced by acquisition specialist Huff Bhatia, and we want to give a special shout out to Huff for being a supporter of Federal Insider Live and a supporter for businesses all around the world as they move into the world of government contracting. So congratulations, Caleb, congratulations, MECO, and thanks again, Huff Bhatia, acquisition specialist at USFCR. Yay! All right, it's so exciting when we get to help a company realize their goals and make, contracting a reality for their business. So let's see if we can find some opportunities right now for one of our audience members. All right, David, let's take a look at the chat. Did we pick out who our APP VIP is going to be this week?
We got a couple of people in the chat.
Okay.
Some things, but the people in the chat are saying things that we've covered before on Federal Insider Live. So we could do some janitorial landscaping stuff with Near Me LLC.
Okay.
Or we could go with the email we got over the weekend with Brian's company.
Oh yeah, that was Brian's. Okay. Near Me LLC, I promise we will give you a shout out, but we just did a janitorial not too long ago on Federal Insider. So we're going to take one of the emails we got this week from Brian, and he had, I think it was musical instrument store is what he has, right? Yeah. It was in California, but I think he said that he can go anywhere. So let's go ahead and take a look at APP for Brian. So Brian, hopefully you're watching this live. If not, we'll shoot you over the response to the email with the link. But let's take a look at APP and see if we can find any musical instruments out there for you to sell to the government. All right, so let's take a look. And I know when you're looking at APP, it's going to pull opportunities, just so you guys know, from all over. It's not just things from FBO. It's pulling opportunities from the GSA, from FedBid, FedConnect, known as Unison. It pulls things from the DLA's database. It's pulling from everywhere. So be rest assured that when you're searching for opportunities, you only have to go on APP to really narrow in your search. Now, what we want to do here for Brian is we click on the search filters toolbar, and then since he's a musical, they sell musical instruments, let's go to the NAICS code section, type in instruments. I believe there's a stores, not the manufacturing, I think there's a stores code. Yeah, right there, the instrument supply stores, perfect. We can try this code. Brian, at home, you could also try doing a keyword search for musical instrument. But if you put in instrument and keyword, I'm afraid you also might end up getting like scientific instruments. So going by your code at first is probably going to be the best. And let's see the results. Yeah, definitely going to be the best using the musical instruments code. First one right here on the list. This was put out on the 19th. That was yesterday? Oh, 2 days ago. Let's look at this one. Sources sought for ceremonial bugle inserts. Ooh. Okay, so looks like the response date is July 3rd. So some of the things I'm going to look out on here are response dates, if there's a set aside, and then the agency it's coming from. So in this case, there isn't any set aside because it's a sources sought. And sources sought are great because, Brian, since you're a small business, what you want to do is showcase that you are a small business. I don't know if he didn't mention that he had anything else, right? I don't think so. But if you did have, let's say you were a service disabled veteran or an 8A or a hub zone, if you have any specialty set-aside designations, you want to make sure that you respond to, for example, this sources sought, showcasing that in your capabilities, because the sources sought is what leads to the actual solicitation. And if you go ahead and make a push for a particular set-aside, the government can then go through and potentially write the solicitation with that in mind, which is what we want. So,
Anna, we have an update.
What?
Near Me LLC is actually in the process of maybe selling clarinets to the government.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So then this actually works for both of you.
So she said Brian can reach out to her if he's not registered yet, and he can sell through her.
Okay, cool. Well, Brian, I know, is already registered with us, but we can definitely, I'll check in with him after and we'll see if he wants to pair up. He may not, I don't know, we'll see, but I'll reach out to him, and if he is, then I'll shoot over his contact info, okay? Sweet. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. So looking at this solicitation a little bit more, it looks like they give you some information about the functions of these bugle inserts. Great. Oh my gosh, of course, the replacement electronic device insert that plays a recorded version of taps. What? That is such a cool contract.
Can you give your version of taps?
Oh, okay. Thanks. I know. All right, government, just give me the solicitation dollars. Anyway, that's a really awesome contract. So if you're able to pre-record taps into this bugle like insert, that would be super cool. If you did have the capabilities, can we scroll down, David, and see, was there any attachment to this sources sought? With any extra details? No. Okay, so in that case, if there's no additional attachments and it's a sources sought, you'll just want to double check the description if there's anything of what they need responded back. Typically, if they don't put anything in there, you're just going to respond back via email, attach your capabilities statement, give them a statement saying that my company is interested in sources sought, solicitation number such and such for, and then the title of solicitation, and then submit the capability statement and let them know it's attached. And you'll want to attach it in either a PDF or a Word document. And that's kind of the basic that you'll need to do unless there was anything specific. I would be sure to watch this solicitation by putting an alert for that contracting specialist. So taking their email address, putting it into the agent finder, and then setting up alert to watch that agent in case there's any updates to this and it moves forward. So thanks, Brian, for submitting it. And Near Me LLC, I will get with him and see if there's possibly some sort of connection. All right. But that about does it for here over at USFCR Studios. We look forward to hearing from you via email, by phone. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for next week. Keep submitting all your bids. Let us know if you want to be the next Procurement Pulse or APP VIP. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next week. My name's Anna Rose, and have a great weekend. Happy first day of summer.